pay attention.
It starts here.
Now that we're all prepared, let's start the show. Start the show.
And now, Miggs and Swig. Don Miggs, Ben Swig, JoJo, Lisa, and JJ. From music to marriage, from politics to parenting, from dating to deep thoughts of sports. Time for Life Out Loud with Miggs and Swig.
Let's get the show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. Happy New Year to you people. 2016. I cannot believe it's 2016.
It's here, believe it.
Lisa and I spent the time in New York City, and the last time I was in New York City on New Year's was in 2000. And it really...
You were about 55 then?
Yeah, it really just marks how freaking old we are. Hey, well, Happy New Year. I want to talk about what everyone did, and I just want to just get out of the way and ask for forgiveness if I get crabby at all because I'm doing a cleanse. with my wife.
You're forgived.
Say it.
You're
And
forgave.
so-
You
You're
seem all
forgiven.
right so far.
So far, I seem pretty good.
Yeah.
So what does a cleanse exactly entail? I mean,
Well,
are you just
Ben-
liquid diet?
Ben,
No.
please.
Water,
Ben, please. There's a
kale?
lot. There's
Are
no
you snorting kale? I mean,
There's
what's the deal here with the cleanse?
Lisa,
By the
give
way,
us what a
he
cleanse
actually
is.
has no idea of anything about this cleanse.
Oh,
He just
shocker.
said,
I'm doing a
I'll do it
cleanse.
with you.
All
I'll
right,
do it
so
with
Lisa,
you.
what does it mean?
Well, it means that each day, and we're only doing hours for 6 or 7 days.
But we've been doing it for quite a while now. Started it around 3 hours ago. So, I mean, we're really heavy into the
quite a
cleanse.
while. It actually started around 7:30.
What do you do?
So what it is that you drink
Which is around
2
3 hours ago.
shakes a day, 1 meal, and 2 snacks. So it's not as if you're not eating anything. I couldn't not eat food.
Okay.
It's not that difficult. But now in about probably an
And
hour, he's going
how
to be
long?
complaining and crying.
2 weeks,
Well,
really.
our nutritionist asked us if we would do it for 2 weeks, and I said no. Dawn-
So you are inmates are running the asylum. You just said straight out no.
No, you
I
see,
said
I don't
straight
do
up.
that, Ben. Lisa does not.
So
Lisa's-
you hire
And I
a
tell Dawn what
so
to
you-
do.
Let me get this straight. You hire a nutritionist.
And tell
the
them what to do.
nutritionist comes up with a plan, and they say, we want you to cleanse for 2 weeks. And you say no.
No, he sent me an email and said, would you want to do a
just
2
met
week
my wife.
cleanse?
Yeah, it's
a
great.
2 week cleanse in the beginning of January. And I
It
said,
said
no,
no.
but I'll do it for a week.
Exactly.
Well,
Compromise.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
And by the way-
to quote my son Jasper.
So what is the purpose of this?
Well, as I was going to say, I'm not
To
doing
cleanse.
it to lose weight or anything like that.
I want her to
It's
lose
just
20
to
pounds.
Get
so I
your
said, please, get on the
body
cleanse.
off to a fresh start in the new year.
Okay.
I have, my birthdays in December.
We drank
Christmas
our
is
weight
in December.
over the
New
3
Year's
days.
Eve is December 31st. I have been eating and drinking a lot the last couple of weeks.
I love the fact, just to get back to it, I love the fact that you negotiated with your
Yeah.
She didn't. She was
nutritionist.
asked a question. Would you want to do it for 2 weeks? And she said no. She was asked.
Okay, well,
I
that's a
basically said
negotiation.
no.
You
Hey,
say you're fired.
Joe-
you did a
Really?
Donald Trump. You're fired.
Joe, I know what's on everybody's mind. Is there gluten in this cleanse? And the answer is
Yes.
no, because I am highly allergic.
Highly
to gluten.
allergic
we,
to
we
gluten.
haven't heard that
Have to
yet.
know.
No,
what?
but I am highly
Milo has been saying
I
that.
had a quick question because you said that you were in New York
Yes.
in 2000 for it going into,
For
when
that
the world
one,
was
it was
ending.
nuts, yes.
I wanted to know the difference.
It was night and day for a couple reasons. One,
I mean, because now we have terrorism on the rise, so I feel like all I saw were friends of ours were sending pictures of just police and everybody everywhere. So I kind of feel like
it was the same thing in 2000. Now, the main difference is that in 2000 I was with the Scrum, and in 2016 I moved up. I got Lisa, and so
You
she,
did.
She would not be hanging out where I was hanging.
strides in
I don't do Times
2016.
Square.
Well, you have a tune to the Miggs and Swig show, and we're talking New Year's and what we did, and we'd like to hear from you. 1-800-771-1025. Let us know what you did for New Year's. Do you have any New Year's resolution? Do you have any New Year's resolutions you've already broken 3 days
Oh,
into?
let's get
into
Lisa
the-
on that one,
into the New
please.
year.
I did.
So Lisa, the other day, so we go and we're New Year's Day. She's like, I want to go get some sneakers because she had shoes that were uncomfortable and she wanted to walk around all day. So we go in to get some shoes, and this one woman keeps walking. I literally like she's about to touch me, keeps walking by, and there's all this space
Hate
everywhere
that.
else, and I'm like. So Lisa's like, is she from another country? I said, I don't know.
They sometimes don't know their space.
I said, I don't know, but
They don't.
can we
She
not
wasn't, though. She wasn't.
So she walks by 6 times, and I bring it to Lisa's attention, and then Lisa's like, really? You don't know how to do this, and so she mumbles to herself. Well, I already broke my resolution to myself.
Wait,
So
wait. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I
it's
did
all
the
right, you
same
did.
thing because when we were out at the rooftop party, I was with Amanda, who is a friend of ours, and she had seen a guy that she knew, and so he looked at her and he said hello. And then came in like to hug her and say hi, but never made eye contact with her and didn't acknowledge her, and then just like walked around her. And I'm like, I looked at him, I grabbed him, I said, if you're gonna stop and talk to somebody, maybe you ought to look them in the eye.
Ooh, good
Nice,
for you,
Joe.
And
Jojo.
he like looked at me, he's like, well, I go, no.
Nice.
I'm like, you're rude.
Well,
I wonder how
do
she
I
didn't
know
get a
him?
kiss this.
I don't know.
it's interesting because
Me, I'm so sick of ignorant people.
yeah,
agree
well,
with
that's that could be their New Year's resolution. But ignorance, you can't change stupid. You can't change ignorant.
True.
Right? So we talked a lot last week about New Year's resolutions, and one of the things that I said that I don't make them, right? Because
Right.
it's just a set up for failure.
Right.
And I was reading this article, and it was really interesting about 3 science-backed ways to keep your New Year's resolutions.
Okay. Science backed.
Science-backed. One of them is be realistic. Okay? I mean, I was reading on Facebook some of these people's New Year's resolutions, and it's like, this
I want to lose 40 pounds by February.
Right, this one guy who will remain nameless was like his list.
Jim.
Was, he wants to increase.
Paul.
He wants to increase his business by 100%. He wants to
Todd.
produce 10 songs that are on video or on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so be realistic about your
Right,
New Year's
right,
resolutions.
right.
Number 2, focus on the process, not the outcome. Right.
I love that.
How many times you hear people say, "I want to run a marathon"?
Right.
Or,
How
"I
about
wanna-
just
I
how
wanna-
about just run to the front door?
That's the
Right,
point,
exactly.
right?
Okay.
So,
Shoes on.
so instead of I want to
Get
run a
some
marathon, instead of I want to run a marathon, how about I want to run each day?
Right.
I
An
want to run
extra
a little
5
bit.
minutes.
I want to run
Right.
each day. So,
Hey, I just want to buy a pair of sneakers.
right. And the other one is set positive goals. Because I think a
Positive
lot of
goals, right.
things is we set negative goals
Right.
that change the entails emotional friction, which leaves us feeling stress, and stress makes us likely to fail.
Right.
So with your New Year's resolutions, be realistic.
Like, yeah, because
Yeah.
mostly, and remember,
makes sense.
most of the things you really, really want to do in life, you're probably going to fail. Just ask most marriages. I mean, it's, mostly you're not going to make
and
things
failure's
work.
okay.
My God.
I think the idea behind it is failure's okay. I mean, it's
And there are different
Not my
degrees of
family.
failure too.
Right.
If you say I want to lose 40 pounds by February and you lose 2,
Right.
that's not necessarily failing, but just
But if you
make
gain
That's why-
7
that's
and then
why-
lost
If you
2.
gain
that's why it's
7.
realistic. And if you like want to stop eating chocolate and you have a night where you eat chocolate, it's not the end of the world.
Just get back on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just
I would love to hear from some of our listeners on what their
And how do you do
resolutions
that,
are.
JoJo?
You can give us a call right here at the Miggs and Swig Show, 800-771-1025, or you can post them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want to get in touch with
Yeah.
us at Miggs and Swig.
JJ, what were you saying?
I was seeing a lot online, people making non-New Year's resolutions, like I will not stop eating chocolate chip cookies.
Did you
And-
see mine?
Then they're all going to be
Oh.
successes.
Did you see mine?
No. what
So
was
do you
yours?
guys have
I-
any non-New Year's resolutions?
I've posted on my Instagram a big picture of a 48-ounce bag of Reese's Pieces.
Oh, I did see that.
And I said that this New Year's, my resolution will not be to stop eating Reese's Pieces.
Yay, so I can keep buying
You can keep buying them, and I will keep eating them.
Okay.
Dawn, do you have one?
I would like to just try to be the same sorts of things. I just want to be. I actually would love to continue with. I'm kind of motivated right now to be trying a bunch of new things. And in
Oh,
my life.
I have one
And I'm
for
gonna
you.
Keep doing that.
Pick me.
What's
Yeah,
that?
that's not a
Pick me.
non-one, but
Pick
that's
me.
okay,
What
Dawn.
up, boobs?
I don't have boobs.
Oh, you got
By the
something.
way, I had 2 bras on the other night, and I still looked
2 bras?
awful. Well, one was built into my Spanx.
Okay,
You
hold
look
on.
like you have boobs right now.
Oh my
You
God,
had 2
I
bras. See,
don't-
that's the worst. That's the worst treat a guy can get.
Oh, I still looked
I mean,
the
that's the
exact
worst
same.
present.
I still had nothing.
That is the worst present you can give a guy.
Right.
Because he's like, I'm bringing this girl home with big boobs. I can't wait. And then it's like, those presents that get bigger and then small. You got to keep on wrapping. That's a terrible setup.
It didn't make any difference for
Well,
me.
I'm
I'm
just saying in general. I've been with women like that, and all of a
Any
sudden you think
Hooters.
you're
And now
bringing-
he's not. Go
I
ahead,
think
Joe.
one of your resolutions
No, this is from JoJo to Don.
should be to start implementing positive thoughts about yourself to yourself.
Well, Joe.
No more negativity, no more body shaming. for
Joe,
yourself.
But can I body shame you or
Yeah,
anyone
yeah,
else?
yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
fine.
it.
No,
Okay,
I
good.
actually said that on New Year's Day with all of us in New York that were together because there are a couple of people who were with us who shame their bodies constantly.
Yes.
And I said to the entire table, focusing on the two of them, though, and they happen to be two men, by the way.
So
I said,
crazy.
enough. I'm
Stop.
done. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm telling you now that you guys are not allowed to do this
So that would
anymore.
fall under category number 3. Set positive goals. Don,
Yes.
Positive
can you
goals.
repeat after me?
Go on.
I'm good enough. Please, just
Let's
just
start here. Let's start here.
All right,
I'm
you
good
guys-
enough.
I can't.
I'm good enough.
I am good enough.
I'm smart enough.
That's on the.
I'm smart
chopping
enough.
block. I'm smart enough.
I have a great body.
I have a great wife.
I have a great body,
I have a great body.
and people like me.
That's not true.
And people-
I've met a couple that do,
I like you, Don.
but it doesn't go far.
I like you,
Thank
Don.
you.
Sometimes.
It's been a grown taste, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right. Well, I don't mind being a grown
Well,
taste.
you said the same thing about me. So
It's
I'm sorry.
true.
You hated me.
I didn't hate you. I just
You had
wasn't.
some question marks.
I know that we we're having
if
such a
people-
good time here, but
Do
I
have to go to
wanted
commercial. What are you
no,
doing?
I think we're okay for a minute, but I wanted to try to see if we can find the best resolution. Who might have the best? We have some prizes to give away. We've got Jarring Questions, which is a incredibly fun conversation dinner party game that you can play with your friends and your family. And there's all kinds of different versions of it that you can find at jarringquestions.com.
There's a new one that we'll give you, which is called the selfie, which is it incorporates your cell phone. It's very, very cool. We have it at the house. It's not out, or it's just coming out.
I love that.
And you can go to Nordstrom's. A bunch of places have this
Yes.
game. And for full disclosure, Lisa and I are partners. We helped develop the game.
It's
So you're
so,
shamelessly
it's so
pushing your own
great.
product.
I'm
That's
shamelessly
great. That's
pushing
great. No,
what?
no, no.
Yes.
As you should.
Don, I have a question.
But yeah, so the best New Year's resolution, or even we'll take a New Year's Eve story that just kind of takes the cake. We would
Yeah.
love to hear from you. 800-771-1025 here at the Miggs and Swig Show.
Don, I know you and Lisa set a New Year's goal last year about having sex.
Relations.
And I know there was a number
Mm-hmm.
that you had in mind to set, and I know obviously there's an ending number. And how did we, can you give our listeners on a little update on how that turned out?
Ben, I just want to, first of all, it's not about quantity, it's quality.
Oh, how quickly we've changed. Obviously,
Tripped
he didn't
No,
make it.
no. But quantity is important.
Well, we didn't actually have a number that we were going for. We just wanted
Okay,
to see
no,
an average.
Okay.
No, I just want to make everyone know.
He had a clear number.
He wanted trip dig.
He-
I just-
we got triple digits.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, we got
I just wanted to be sure of that because, when you think about it, it's almost humbling when you go, okay, we want to do it this many times a week. And then you take your number and divide it into 365. You're like, oh, it wasn't as many as you thought it was.
But if you did it at least 100 times.
Can you give us I know you have it in your notes.
That's
Can
at
you
least
please
twice
just
a
give us
week.
the numbers?
we are somewhere between 105 and 115. That's all I'll say.
Was there some drunk nights that you forgot?
No, I don't forget anything. It gets
but we started it again for 2016.
Okay.
Yep, because
So
we're
one
going to
of
double
the
our
three-
number.
Look, I mean, I think
double it.
I think that, I don't think you have to go any further than that. I think anything else is forcing it a little bit. I mean,
but
I
you
think
figure that's twice a week on average.
That's 3 times a week.
Sometimes
104.
Oh,
would-
well,
right?
365.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 and 3.5 times a day. But I think that's phenomenal.
And it
I
all
wouldn't say
depends. It's
phenomenal.
How long you
hard.
guys been married?
8 years.
8 years.
Altogether,
I think
almost
that's
10
phenomenal.
years.
I think you're way above the average.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 1 every 3 months.
By
you know.
choice.
Well,
And Nadia's
We're back
not
in
even
it.
there. You're by
I'd
yourself.
love
We're
to
back
hear.
in it.
I'd
We're
love to
back
hear
in the
some of our
saddle, by the way.
listeners. Maybe
Yeah, finally.
if any of our listeners want to weigh in on how often you have relations with your partner, please call us 877-771-1025.
You are listening to the Miggs and Swig Show. I have a couple things I want to talk about when we come back. I want to know, JJ has some information about what every state has Googled in 2015. I'd like to see that. We didn't get to, Lisa and I met this man, Gianni Russo, who was an incredible character you can Google, and I want to talk about him. We have The Juice with JoJo, Getting Swiggy with Ben Swig, Lisa Out Loud. We are going to be doing Yay or Nay with JJ. And are you glad the holidays are over? Do they stress you out? I want to talk about that next. And might tell me something good. You have to tune in to the Miggs and Swig Show, talking life out loud and easing you into this Sunday morning. Stick around. Here we go, guys. Miggs and Swig, Miggs and Swig, Miggs and Swig. I'm excited because I'm getting ready to go on tour with Miggs. We start the tour Wednesday in Atlanta. So,
ATL, the Dirty Dirty.
the dirty.
How long is this tour? And how's it going to affect our...
It won't affect us. On Saturday nights after the show, I will take a red eye.
Now that's commitment.
To get myself here to be here for the shows on Sundays.
Damn.
I'd like a round of applause for me.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna. I thought we were gonna have them. I thought we were just gonna have the Swig show for a while.
I could tell you what I know this. We've been talking a lot about the affair.
Yes.
Previous
not
shows.
yours.
No, not mine. No.
Yet.
The television show on Showtime.
I'm telling you, go to my grave. I will never have an affair. Never.
I know. I believe you when you say that.
I believe
Sure.
you, but I think never is a pretty strong word.
No, it is a pretty strong. You know what I tell my wife? We keep getting the numbers up. I want to make it so she doesn't have any time to go have relations.
Can I
with
just
someone
go
else.
back to that for 1 second? I don't want to harp on it.
You do want to harp on
No,
it.
because I
appreciate
think it's great, and I think that what you guys have is real, and I've been around you, and there's no question that it's there's no force in it. But at what point, when you're trying to reach a number, does it become like, oh, honey, we have to have sex to
Never.
beat the number?
Never.
So it's not like it's
No.
just. I mean, you don't sit there and go, well, we haven't had sex 3 times this week.
No,
we better get on it.
She knows though. If she because she'll say to me, she knows like if a certain number of days do go by, she's like, all right, well, get over here. I'm like, what are you talking about? We don't have time. She goes, just get over here. I know you need to do this now. Like she knows me enough.
That's awesome. See, I mean, I think it's okay because I mean, I've been to marriage counseling before, and one of the things that to get your sex life started is what they will tell you is to set a date once a week that it's your sex night, no matter what happens.
Right.
And however awkward or forced that is, it kind of gives you, knowing that it's coming, and that you just have to put everything aside.
You know what makes it really a lot easier for us, though, is that Don does work from home. So sometimes it's 10 o'clock in
Middle
the
of the
morning.
day.
Sometimes it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Changes everything. I mean, the kids. Look, there's
kids
no
like
doubt.
watching?
No. There's no doubt.
They almost
There's
got
no
us
doubt
the
that
day.
the kids kill it. The kids are the biggest
Oh yeah,
blockers there are.
Anti.
And so you
anti-boners.
have them, and then you have like if you have a day job and you're working all day long, I have a lot of sympathy for both of you in that relationship. Especially, look, the realities are this: we are so freaking lucky, Lisa and I. We don't do our food shopping. There's someone who mostly food shops. Now we look like idiots that have just
Yeah,
said that.
cannot
I'm so
believe
sorry.
Maybe we should just move on. Maybe you should just move on and
and
tell
we're
me something
I
good.
don't cook, though. No, it has to do with cooking
Right.
also. I don't cook, so we are lucky enough to have a chef that cooks for us
So
a
you
few
have,
days a week.
You have
But by the
somebody
way, we
who
pay for
grocery
that.
shops. You
course.
have
No,
somebody
it's
who
same
grocery
person.
shops for
Same
you.
person.
You have somebody who cooks for you.
No, same person.
You have people who watch the kids. Do you have people that help you with your sex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a couple fluffers.
Right, fluffers. And
That's
they will-
called my Kama Sutra book.
Okay.
My
Hey.
sister Nikki.
I would love to know for those that are a little less fortunate, how do you make it work and have sex more than, I don't know, once a month?
Call us.
800-771-1025 here at the Miggs and Swig show.
Because I am looking for some tips and tricks and all that stuff. Because I mean, it's true. Kids are
It's hard.
completely blocker,
Right.
Pun
beat
intended.
blockers.
So I
and
feel
the,
that.
the other thing is
People.
a dog. We have a little white. Capone is his name. He's a little white Maltese, and he is the biggest bleep blocker ever. And he can sense whenever Nadia and I want to have
Relations.
he gets up on the bed and gets right in between us.
Yeah, you
Why?
can move the dog.
And he looks at me and he goes,
Why do you allow your dog in the bed?
"Because the one little dog."
No,
Yes.
kick
And
them out of the
It's
bedroom.
too late. He's 19 years old. He has a brain tumor. He has
Kick him out.
seizures.
You know
It's
what's?
too late.
It's going to be
Kick 'em
too
out.
late when you and your wife cannot find your way to the bed in a way that
because we got kids.
I
and
got to
dogs
tell you,
and-
you've got every day. Listen, I was married before, and she was a nice person, and I wish her well.
Not
But
really.
it did not. It was not something where I could not wait every day to be around her.
I get it.
And Lisa
I've
and I
been there.
just get along. Yeah, and
I've been there.
No,
I
it's
mean,
true.
It's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I love my ex-wife to death. We were not meant to be married.
Right.
Right. We were not meant to be in a relationship. And I remember coming home, and Nikki, for living, I love you, but it's just the way it is. I remember coming home from whatever and opening the garage and looking and seeing the car and going, oh,
Right.
or not
Yeah.
seeing the car and going, oh.
Right.
You know, good.
Yeah.
But and that's just because we weren't meant to be married. We're
Right.
together today. We're best friends.
Right.
And you know, we have dinners together, and I love being around her. But married, we just weren't. And it's such a different thing.
Right.
You know, now I see the car. And I'm well. No.
'Cause you-
Anyways, I'm gonna go.
Yeah. No, so like Lisa and I,
But
are
you're
really-
right.
We know
Yeah.
how lucky we
Yeah.
are, and we also know. I say all the time, if we argue, and I worry because it's such a scope. Because 1 minute everything's okay, and it can be an hour later for real in life where you're like, I don't think I want to be with this person anymore. I mean, stuff like that happens. So I'm so mindful of like the fact that things are meant to end, and I don't want it to end. And so I nurture it best I can. And I don't mean, by the way, I try her patience when it's like, I'm going to go on tour. But as you know, Ben says I'm crazy for it. On the other side, there will be a great tour that'll come up like with Motley Crue, and I'll say, I can't do the tour. No matter how crazy it is for my career not to do that. The
crazy
thing
and
is,
bordering on stupidity.
but in the end, I can't get to the end of this road and turn around and see everything else in flames, because then that's no way to live.
No, and I think it's good. I think you need time to be apart and miss each other, since you do work from
Right.
home, since you know you're fortunate enough that you can be a stay-at-home mom and take care of your kid. Like, you're together a lot, and I think
Right.
it's great. But I think you need to have that time apart to realize
Right.
just how much you love each other.
I think we need to probably move on, because unfortunately we've lost a listener because your 12-year-old nephew Asher, my son, has Nadia turned off the radio because we were talking about his aunt and uncle
All right.
getting crazy with it. So I think we should.
We are
probably
going to move on. Because, and by the way, what I was talking about, this all stemmed from the affair, and I've got to tell people who are out there, if you have not seen the affair, actually, I was thinking last night, Lisa and I really don't watch a lot of TV. We watch one thing at a time. Right now, we are definitely on a Showtime binge, and I know they are one of our dear friends and sponsors of this show, and we want you to support them like we do. If you don't have Showtime, you should get it.
you should.
You really should. The programming is amazing, from Ray Donovan to the affair. And
Penny
Shame-
Dreadful.
Homeland.
Penny Dreadful.
Homeland.
Shameless is getting ready to start in a couple weeks.
Shameless special.
Should we be
and-
watching that? We
Yes.
haven't seen
oh,
it yet.
it's the craziest.
Is
because-
it?
How about Billions coming up?
I was just going to say
I
that
hear
looks
that
so
January
good.
17th, I think.
And that's Paul
That's the guy from Homeland.
Yeah, just
Yes.
great people. So I'm telling you, please do yourself a favor. But if you're on the fence about it and you need a show to get you started, we have the season 1 of The Affair, and we want to give it to somebody. We just want to know what your New Year's resolutions are, or we want to hear any story from you. 1-800-771-1025. I do want to know, are you guys glad? Who here is glad the holidays are over, actually? And
All,
Me.
hands all go up.
hands
Me.
except for Lisa.
I love the holidays.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I never feel like we get to enjoy it enough, though. I feel like we rush through
We
it.
do.
And we never enjoy it as much as we should.
I think it's the one thing for me that bothers me about the holidays is it is such a American holiday in the sense of excess. We tend to do things as Americans in excess, and I was there Christmas morning. My daughter Izzy woke up at 3:00, wanted to catch Santa in the act, and
she did.
wouldn't go back to sleep. But then we open up these presents, right? And it's just present after present
Right.
after present after present, and it's just so much that we actually had to hold back some of her presents.
Santa
because
doesn't wrap presents for our kids, which is really
That's
nice.
smart. That's smart. But
And
I'm
Santa
just,
puts the batteries
it's
in
just
and sets everything
there's
up.
so
That's
mu-
what Santa does for me.
there's so much. There's just so much,
Right.
and it just at the end of the day, I was just sitting there going, okay, next year, and I say this every year, so it probably won't happen next. But next year, it just has to be simplified and taken back,
Yep.
and more, smaller and less is better, I think, instead of toys that don't even get opened.
Right.
Well,
and we
and-
end up donating them, which is, I guess, in the end, a good thing.
Good
Yeah, but you're
thing,
right.
yeah.
It's still way
It's
too
much. And then,
But
and then everybody,
that's what this world and that's exactly it, between social media and Pinterest and who makes these crazy ass elaborate concoctions for the holidays of how to wrap things and how to decorate your house and pies to make and dessert. I love reading and looking at the Pinterest fails because it's amazing, because nothing ever looks and turns out the way you want it to. But I think that we've lost touch with what it's supposed to be
Right,
about.
and it's
Right.
family time, and we were blessed enough. Nadia and I, I live in San Francisco, and Nadia's family's here, but they were, live in Ruskin. But we were lucky enough to be part of Lisa and Dawn and Joanne's family. They were great.
We were lucky enough to have you.
No,
That's Christmas
seriously.
Eve
I mean,
No,
but
it's
that's
true. It's
to
great.
me. Even though I'm an ex, husband and not part of the family, but was brought in and still part of the family. To me, that's what it's about.
Right.
It's about sitting around watching football, with family, and then eating a huge meal, waking up the next day, opening presents, which I don't, I just talked about. But then Christmas Eve, I went over to my ex-wife's and spent it with you guys, and that's to me what the holidays is about.
Yeah.
And it's the other stuff in between is going to the mall, going shopping, making sure everybody has presents.
Yeah.
That whole thing is too stressful. It's just too stressful.
And we talked about that last week, maintaining that thoughtfulness all year long so that you're not overwhelmed and consumed just at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's tell something good here.
Tell me something good. Don't mix. Don't mix. Tell me something good. Don't mix.
Brought to you by our good friends at Showtime. This is the Tell Me Something Good portion of the show. Seriously, you guys,
Yeah, seriously, what was that about?
I don't know. The Tell Me Something
Let's
Good.
make a New Year's resolution never to have that.
Never do that again. I would like to have my Tell Me Something Good really just look at JoJo. JoJo, can you tell us anything good that happened on New Year's Eve for you?
No.
We're looking for a kid.
No kiss.
Wish we didn't put that
Can
song
we put
on.
my
heart.
I learned
That doesn't have to be a bad thing.
I learned something
It's-
about your New Year's that I'd like to put on blast.
Oh,
About my
okay.
drunk nanny.
Oh my God.
No, you shouldn't have told me.
Let's
No,
hope
no,
she's
you
not
What do you
shouldn't have.
think I was going
Let's
to do
hope
when
she's
I had
not
my mic
listening.
in?
No, she had a really good time and she deserved it.
AG. We're going to have a little talk on
That's not
oh,
Amanda,
boy.
right? Does that stand for Amanda? No.
That
Oh
stands for
my
Amanda.
gosh, Dawn.
You're such a jerk face.
Joanne spent the New Year's Eve
Don't say it,
taking
don't
care
say it,
of
don't
my
say
drunk nanny.
She did not say that, by
She
the way.
did not
if
say
you're
it. She
drunk
said-
Danny's
all she did was show me pictures.
One picture.
Listen, you had
AG.
a really good time, AG, and you deserved it.
you just have to
And
remind her.
Clearly, nothing was happening
And this
by
one-
way of fun for me.
So she didn't block you in
I
it.
didn't mind.
All right,
No.
well,
So,
she
Joe,
takes care of my kid.
there was
That's all I
no
have to
kiss.
say.
And I take care of her. So you see, it's all full circle.
There was no kiss.
My nanny for my
no.
nanny.
But you know what I realized
Tell
with
me.
that is
Tell me.
that I am okay with that. Because when it does happen, it's going to be awesome
This
and with the right person.
next year, I'm going to tongue kiss you. I'm going to throw my tongue so deep down your throat. You're going to be choking
Oh, that sounds
over your
appealing.
dinner.
You're listening to Miggs and Swig show here on 1250.
Well, what?
Well, it is 1250. 102.5 The Bone.
Yeah.
And
No, it's not.
if you're
It's
new to the
just
show,
dyslexic.
if you're new to the show, we have JoJo, who's an absolute beautiful human being, both
Mostly on the inside.
inside and out.
That was the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
For some reason, our producer keeps on texting me saying I'm being positive.
You
this year.
are. I like
not
it.
done intentionally. It'll turn. But she's a beautiful person inside and out. She's single. She's serial single.
Yeah.
We are trying to find her.
She's cereal, all right.
We're trying to find her a date, a lover, a boyfriend, a husband. If you're single out there, we are accepting applications.
It's a tough crowd.
Call
folks.
in. We will do a preview screening of you. And, obviously there are a lot of crazies out there, so the screening process will be intense.
Vigorous.
Vigorous. But we want to find JoJo love in 2016. It's our goal on the show.
Looking for love.
Let me tell you,
in all the-
MiggsandSwig.com. You can check her out. I'm not lying.
No.
She is a fine, beautiful woman.
Aww.
But JoJo needs a strong, confident man.
Thank you.
No wishy-washy guys may
Boom.
apply here. Strong and confident.
And I would
And
say the
rich.
same
And
plug.
rich.
I would say the same plug for the woman you took care of, AG, who was also looking penub in all the wrong places. But after her escapades,
Escalade. Ask her escapade in the
on
Escalade.
New Year's Eve and falling down drunk, I'm not looking out for her love. I'm looking out for I'm looking out for JoJo's love. So if you're single out there.
thanks.
Look us up, call us. We'll drop the show at any time to talk to you to accept
Can
your
we
application.
please say that JJ is also single and ready
Oh,
to throw
JJ.
down a mingle?
JJ, eating pineapple too. You know what that does?
Oh, it makes you taste real delicious.
Yes, it does.
JJ, did you have any
Give me
kiss
some of that.
on New Year's Eve?
What did you do for New Year's Eve, JJ?
Did you
go to-
not have a kiss on New Year's Eve?
I ate some Tostinos.
Were you at our house with our kids?
Yes.
I did.
Did you have
guys were there?
Chipotle?
I tried to kiss
New Year's
Milo,
Eve?
and
I did.
he was
did?
being
I did
so
have
mean
Chipotle as my
about it.
last 2015
Are you
meal.
worried about Chipotle and
No,
the
not at all.
salmonella and everything going on?
No, no,
You,
no.
you still eat it?
No.
You have chicken?
Salmonella.
Yep.
I've not gotten sick.
All right, we're
I
gonna
actually,
have.
I used
knock
my
on
gift
wood.
card from Joanne to buy my last Chipotle. meal.
I got a
Oh,
gift card too.
I did too.
I didn't. Go.
I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
It was from.
I'm very excited because there's another new dating app out there, folks.
Oh no.
And
Ooh.
it's kind of a cool concept. I'm going to share that with you next, along with ways to tell if someone is lying to you. I think everybody thinks that they know, but do you? That's going to be on The Juice with JoJo right here on Miggs and Swig. Coming up after the break. Stay tuned. Google me.
We
That
spent
guy.
we spent New Year's with Jaron, and he was hysterical. Actually,
I really wish you could post that video.
I'm just going to get that. I want to post that video.
It's so great.
And
Of all of you, though.
It
And
was
it
funny.
looks like you had such a good time.
we had fun. We were singing "Living on a Prayer." It was hysterical. Hey, have you guys found this this thing, the internet? Anyone here?
Not
No.
familiar.
No.
Did you guys
Please
ever-
explain.
Anyone ever hear of Google? Googla. Google.
I know Google.
It's a big number.
Big. That's what that's a Jasper, a little 4-year-old says. You know, Google's a real number. Okay, buddy, gotcha. It's a real number.
It is.
Okay, stop it. JJ sent me something this week, and it was about what each state Googled more than any other state in 2015.
It's kind of interesting.
It's some of it's really funny. First of all, I'll just give you a couple.
Talk to me.
In Nevada,
Tell me something good.
what do you think in Nevada?
Lamar Odom.
That's because you read it. Okay.
No, I didn't. Is that really it?
It
I was
is.
just thinking of the most recent thing that happened there.
What do you think in Florida?
Well, I have it in front of me, so I can't
Oh,
answer.
I don't. So this is fun for me. I feel like Florida, there's always some kind of like stupid human crime.
I would say strip clubs.
Concealed weapon permits. Thanks,
Uh-huh.
Florida.
Oh,
Thank
that
you,
makes
Florida.
sense.
Keep those guns high.
Figure it out, Florida.
Hey, 1-800-771-1025 if you want to argue with me that we are pretty dumb that the number one thing we are Googling in Florida is
don't open up that
concealed
Pandora.
weapons
Don't
permit.
open up that Pandora's box.
Do you
And
see
there's
what?
Pandora.
There's Pandora.
There she
Yes,
is.
she is.
Go
Do
ahead,
you see
Lisa.
what West Virginia Googled a lot of?
Incest.
Dentist.
Oh.
Magic Mike. Magic Mike,
Mike?
the second Magic Mike movie. Right, that is West Virginia, Don, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I'm impressed at
What's
Alabama.
California?
Is same-sex marriage.
Oh, that's
Alabama.
Cool.
'cause
Oh,
there's-
Alabama.
no, there was that incident. Wasn't there that incident
With that woman.
With
What's,
the woman.
what's her name? Kelly Kim.
That was
no?
in Alabama, wasn't it?
Alabama, Don. What are you talking about? Same sex
Alabama,
marriage?
That was North.
same-sex.
That was the Carolinas. You're completely off, and I think Alabama just misspelled. They're looking for incest. Actually,
Yeah, right.
Sweetheart, where do you think
Go
Alabama
down.
is?
Sweetheart
Go
has been
down a little,
called.
sweetheart. Go down. Get off the map. Go down a little. Hey, by the way, before the show started, I almost was about to hang myself. I was lighting myself on fire because Ben was in a deep conversation with Jamie and Ryan about what Alaska likes to Google, and that's Game of Thrones. No one heard
Really?
that. Never mind.
Really? Alaska?
Yeah.
All 15, all 15 people with the internet.
I'm
up
going to
there.
pick up that joke. I dropped it over here on the floor.
What?
Got it.
No.
Oh, sorry. I was looking for the state.
Arkansas. Blood Moon Prophecy.
Wow.
Do I have the wrong map?
He has another list that has
No,
more.
go down.
But I
Look.
don't know where you have to click on.
You don't
Okay.
click. I don't know.
Oh, JJ sent me the wrong.
All right, this thing just
thing.
fell right on its face. You know what I want to do? I
All
think we
right,
should
bye.
get to a
Yeah,
little
tell
bit of
something
juice.
good.
We're not doing telling something.
Talking about the juice with Dojo. Rolling down the screen, searching headlines. Talking about the juice. Here's Jojo.
Before we get a little bit of the juice for you, we have Jason on the line who wants to talk to Don about googling. Hi, Jason.
Hello. Listen, Google is everybody's dirty little secret. If you wrote down 20 things that you Googled, 15 of them you wouldn't want to tell anybody about.
20 of mine I would not want to tell anybody about.
That's a great point.
That's the way everybody is. Look, it's like it's either the freak factor, like you want to see somebody's head blown off, or
sex with goats.
It's the freak factor, or it's something deviant. So it's something you wouldn't want to ask somebody else about.
Jason, would you consider would you consider sex with goats something deviant?
That's Ben, by the way.
Only if you're not another goat. If you're another goat, then no, it's not deviant. But otherwise, yes, it's deviant.
Jason, do me a favor. Tell me something that you've Googled that you really don't think people should know. And I want to give you season 1 of The Affair from our friends at Showtime.
Which is deviant.
It's interesting. I'm 45 years old, right? And I'm not going to say the word, but it begins with O and it ends with M.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Orgasm?
Organism?
Say that on the radio? Oh, yeah, well, it ain't organism. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, how do you know what you've Googled the most? Is there a way that you can tell for yourself?
Clear cache.
Yeah, no, and don't let anybody see it. I'm telling you, it is you don't want anybody to know. Google is like everybody's dirty little secret.
Jason, stay on the line so we can get your information, and we're going to give you season 1 of The Affair because you're awesome and you're very right.
Let me ask you a question, Jason.
Please.
Have you ever in Google? This is a fun trick for everybody.
All right,
if you open up your Google, and I'm Jewish.
Which has nothing to do with
it. Okay, so if you just, when they do auto search about the most searched things, if you just start typing. So if you type in just the word Jews, R, and it completely pulls up the most anti-Semitic stuff that you could ever imagine. Do the same thing for blacks. Do the same thing for it. I mean, it's unbelievable. So that tells you that what people those autofills,
the prompts.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So Jews.
It's disturbing.
Let me tell you, have you guys ever talking about Jewish stuff? Let me tell you, as the grandson of an Orthodox rabbi.
Oh God.
All right?
Oh my God! How guilty were you growing up?
Well, no, it's worse than that. They're Russian immigrants. My father was an immigrant. He was a teenager when they left Eastern Europe.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
So, you want to talk about heavy duty Jew? Let me tell you. But for all of my friends who I actually care about, who are fascinated by the whole Jewish thing, and they really don't know about, I bought a book for every one of them called The Jewish Book of Why, WHY. It is the greatest book it explains every Jewish tradition and why we are the way they are and how Jews it's sort of tongue-in-cheek, but it's also a lot of information, and it's actually really good.
I love tongues in my cheek. Jason, thank you so much for calling, but we've got to get some juice done.
Hold on to the line.
Yeah. Hold on to the line. We're going to get your information.
Thanks, Jason.
I love Jason.
Yeah,
he was great.
That was great.
Can we get back to me now?
Yes.
Awesome.
All about you.
So,
Jugal.
Instead
of Google.
Jugal.
I like that.
Jugal.
Ways to tell if someone is lying to you. Right? Because I feel like everybody. What would you think that the top, let's say, 3 things?
Eye contact.
Lack thereof,
lack thereof.
Okay.
Lack thereof. Looking down. Blinking.
Okay.
Fidgeting.
Okay.
Sweating profusely.
So number 1 is gesturing with both hands. Liars were found by far and more likely to use animated hand movements than truth tellers.
My
Then
wife's
all
a liar.
Italians are liars.
All Italians. You just stereotyped all Italians.
I can't talk if I don't use my hands.
So basically you're telling me that Helen Keller was a complete liar.
Oh my God.
You're an asshole.
Everything that came out of her mouth.
That you cannot.
I can.
No.
You got beeped.
I did? Oh, that's bull.
Well, that's the first one. That's the first
I'm
censor.
not going to lie to you. I hear that, which is why I just said it, because I've heard countless times it being said on radio.
I'm erring on the side of caution.
Okay.
That's
All
fine.
right.
JoJo will not be censored.
Oh, yeah, she will be.
Such crap. Scowling and grimacing. Frowning with anger occurs more often with lying than with truth-telling. While just 10% of honest people pull a full-faced grimace, 30% of liars were noticed scowling with their entire face. Making direct eye contact.
Is a lie.
Despite many preconceived notions that liars avoid eye contact, researchers found that fibbers actually looked the questioner in the eye more often than those being truthful.
Because you're trying to be like,
I'm telling you the truth.
Wow.
Peppering this speech, a speech or a story with filler words. To draw out the conversation as they struggle to find,
So, and then, and I was,
Do you have more?
One more, avoiding the first person. So when telling a lie, people are more likely to distance themselves from the action itself by using third-person pronouns like he or she instead of first-person words like I or we.
That's great.
Just don't lie. You don't have to worry about it.
Do any of you, I mean, I guess you guys don't lie, but
I do.
Do you have a tell?
A what?
A tell? So in poker, a tell is something where somebody picks up on the fact that you're bluffing.
Oh, like your signature thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty convincing.
Okay. I do.
My dad has one.
I do. What's your dad's?
He does like this weird lip thing when he's
too.
lying.
I
Do you?
Yeah. I'll bite the corner of my lip. And I never knew it until my best friend growing up for, however many years, Reed Woodson. I've known him since kindergarten.
So that's your telltale that you have a good hand? Like you're...
No.
Or just,
like if I'm...
Oh, you don't?
If I'm stretching the truth...
Oh, okay. I got you.
I will
Okay.
bite the corner of my lip. Like that.
That's
But
funny.
but it's funny because I do that when I'm not lying. Like this is sort of like my
Yes,
my
I've noticed
tick.
that about
it's
you.
my little tick, but it's also my tick for when I'm lying.
Huh.
So I
don't think I have one, but I would love to know it if I do. I mean, I really try to be honest, which is...
Lie to me sometime,
Which is,
and then tell
which
me
is my
later.
downfall, I guess.
Sometimes.
Then tell me
Try
later
telling me
that
the
it's a
truth
lie.
once in a while.
I do. That's what gets me in trouble.
Let's test
But see, mine are white. Like if somebody said, you look great, or it's lies because it's a little codependent. Right? So you look great. Those shoes are great. Your hair looks great. When it's not my favorite. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So are those white lies or are those like codependent
Well, no.
lies? I
If
think
you're
they're
trying-
Those are- you just
I think
want-
they're codependent lies.
No,
you
you're
don't want
you're trying not to hurt somebody's
Yeah,
feelings.
exactly.
And
But-
it's not a big enough deal to say, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Don, I love your hat.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm biting my lip.
Now I'm going to question everything that you say or do, even more than I already did.
I just told my lie. Honey, hope you're not listening.
So there is a new dating app on the scene, and I actually came across it on Bumble. There was a guy that had posted, and the little blurb of info that he writes about himself. He said that he was the creator, I guess, or one of the guys that created this new dating app. It's called Bryce, BRICE, Break the Ice.
Oh, okay.
How does it work, JoJo?
And
Well, I got 4 calls so far.
I don't know. They say it's a fun new way to add transparency to online dating so that you're never surprised by the hottie you meet, because most people's pictures are not really
That's
them
the
or
biggest
they're
lie.
old or whatever.
30% rule.
So this one is purely selfies. You can only take a selfie in real time and upload that picture to the dating site.
And you shouldn't be able to Facetune it or make yourself look. You can't.
You can't do that on this.
I like
on
that.
this
I
app.
like that because it's a 30% rule. I mean, I think that goes across the board, whether it's a dating site, Facebook profile, Instagram profile. It's my 30% rule.
Hey, who here does that like immediately? What
what's
is
it
it?
called?
What's all the garbage
When
do?
you make yourself look better on
all the filters.
Who use? I never use.
Beautiful.
never.
I sometimes do, but it.
I use
know
filters.
It's only if
people-
something's lighter or darker.
There's
I
a
try
difference
to.
between a filter and then a beautify.
Making yourself look
right,
better.
Right, like what's it called? Photoshop or whatever. But for me, it's a 30% rule that you got to take 30% off people's profile pictures. Because
the biggest lie there
no
is.
one's gonna put their worst profile picture.
You'd
up
be
there.
surprised.
But-
At some of the crap that people put out, I question that those are the best photos that these people have of themselves. That's what they're putting out there.
But have you ever seen them in real life? So maybe that is the 30% rule. Maybe they're just so ugly that 30% is the 30% better that they can do. So I just take 30%
Ben
off the top.
Swig making friends minute
Okay,
by
let me
minute.
ask you a question. Have you ever
1-800-771
put a- okay, look-
1025.
877.
Yes.
No.
1-800.
It's 800.
771.
Have you ever put a profile picture on any of your social medias that go, that's not a very good
he doesn't
picture of
like
me."
any of his photos.
I honestly
Okay,
never
for the
ever
normal
look
person.
at the
Lisa,
photos.
have you ever put a non-attractive picture of yourself on your profile picture on social media?
Honestly, I haven't really been the one to judge. I've had other people helping me choose a picture to put on there.
Okay.
So I would hope that they wouldn't
pick
choose a
your-
bad one.
JoJo?
No, but I've actually been trying to take more pictures like natural and without makeup and just to be more myself, because I really don't
You
wear
don't
makeup.
need makeup.
And I'll be
though.
honest with you. I mean, every profile I put up there, except for my avatar that I had made, but it is my best picture. I mean, I'm not going to put.
Yeah, well, of course you want people to see your
right,
best
so
side.
it's 30%.
Yeah, I don't
So, if
So
you
we
see my
ran out of
picture,
time. I wasn't done with my app, but that's fine.
No. You keep talking.
Nope, we have to go. We have to go to commercial. And we have to come back and get to Swig.
Nope, we're
and get
starting with
Swiggy
you.
it.
We are coming back with more juice before we
can't
get
do
Swiggy with it. And I am so sorry about JoJo and profanity. Should not happen on a show like the Miggs and Swig show. We are a family environment here, folks.
Are we? You just talked about how many times.
Yeah, but that's still but with my family member, my wife.
And your nephew had to tune out because he didn't want to hear it.
Hey, you got the Miggs and Swig show, and we are one, two, three, four, five. We are five great friends just having fun on a Sunday talking with you, and hopefully you're enjoying yourself. And if not, really, what else have you got to put on? You're going to put on hip-hop? 1-800-771-1025. Miggs and Swig show. Back after these words.
Pay attention.
It starts here.
Now that we're all prepared, let's start the show.
The conversation is about to get louder. You're listening to Miggs and Swig. Don Miggs, Ben Swig, JoJo, Lisa, and JJ. From music to marriage, from politics to parenting, from dating to deep thoughts and sports. Get ready for Miggs and Swig. Life out loud.
Let's get the show on the road.
Hey, everybody. We're back with the Miggs and Swig show. I got to tell you, I love my Sunday mornings coming here and doing this show, and I'm happy to be able to do it with my wife and some of my great friends. I won't say, my best friend, JoJo. I mean, you're right up there in the top two. But
your eyes are blinking a lot.
That's what I was trying to do.
You're lying.
What am I, child liver?
I wasn't up to you yet, but
he's
Ben,
twitching.
I think you, honestly, you're like, I'm of all the people I know, you're one of my very favorite.
Well, Don, it's funny because I feel the same way about you.
And JJ, you're like an aunt to me.
I think you're real.
Y'all
I think you're a real
liars.
genuine. I think you're a real genuine person.
You're all liars.
So before the break, we were and sincerely, I love being on the show with you guys. But before the break, JoJo was giving a little juice and talking about things like what makes you a liar, how you can tell. But then she was on this dating site called Bryce because she is actively seeking. I think is the clock
Employment.
ticking? What's
Love
going
in all
on?
the wrong places.
She's actively seeking employment.
Do you feel like your clock's ticking? That's a
Wait,
sincere.
will you say that word again?
Clock is ticking.
Okay, good.
His L's are a little.
Because we needed clarification
No,
on
we
that
don't.
because it was a little close to getting. It was a little close to getting the red button.
No.
It was clock.
Go ahead.
People.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, and I've said it before that I'm a very fortunate person in the life that I have and the things that I get to do, and I just would like somebody that I enjoy that will put up with me to share those things with, to have somebody to hang out with and watch movies with. And
But do you feel like that's part? Do you feel like that is? We know people. That's basically life's goal.
Oh no!
Is to
I mean, I
cohabitate
enjoy
people.
my life and
If you
being able to
don't-
travel. And
If you don't get married, will you feel as if that somehow you didn't achieve what you wanted?
yeah, I mean, I eventually
okay.
would like to, and I would like to have a
kids.
kid or
Okay.
probably just one.
All right.
But we're going to
JJ.
start off at
Be the-
small steps,
the
and we're going to
spun-
get her a date.
Yeah.
man.
But I mean,
let's let's not.
I just want to ask that same question of JJ. Do you feel like your life isn't fulfilled because you don't have a partner?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Are you actively
I'm
seeking?
so sad.
Yeah. I am.
Is there something that
It's
you're
also sad.
I'm
No, I
sad.
feel like,
JJ,
yeah, I
wanna-
definitely
I'm
do.
going to give you a hug.
Aww. Who is he today?
Hey, the number one thing is
So
we're going
Telling
to
you,
weird.
my medication's
Yeah. He
kicked
took something.
in.
Yeah.
My
You have-
medication.
you changed it this
no,
new
it's
year.
just well balanced.
Oh.
It's
folks,
just well balanced.
folks,
today.
we are going to need JJ to go out and date. Actually, she's going to have to leave her house and leave our house to get out and date, and not go to like a concert by yourself. That's not going to get you a date.
No, because Jensen is a beautiful blonde,
JJ.
blue-eyed beauty, but she's a little more completely opposite of me.
A little more. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a little bit more reserved.
So if JoJo talks, JJ doesn't.
Correct.
There you go.
JJ needs somebody who isn't as, I said JoJo needs like a confident, that JJ needs someone a little more reserved. She doesn't want someone who's a big personality, I don't think.
Correct. So if you're that guy, 800-771-1025 here at the Miggs and Swig Show.
Ryan Gosling seems to be that kind of guy.
So Ryan, if
He's
you're listening, give us a
Eva
call.
Mendez. I have two words for you.
Go ahead.
Eva
Go ahead.
Mendez.
You got anything
But
else
the
there?
institution of dating has just taken a complete poop like in the last decade, and it is hard to meet people. It's hard to date. It's hard to get out there. People, I feel, are working more and putting less effort into themselves and into courting somebody and dating somebody. And I don't mean just men for women, but also women for men, kind of taking that initiative. But with this new dating app, you kind of have to mutually come together. So with Bryce, which stands for Break the Ice, it's a radically different dating app out there. Once you have a match, either you or your new friend creates a challenge that you both must complete. So you can only take selfies and post selfies. You can't post a picture from 10 years ago of yourself. And then once you thumbs up or thumbs down, it's not right and left swiping, it's thumbs up and thumbs down on this particular app. Once you swipe and you have a connection with somebody, from there you have to complete a challenge. So it can be something like
The Amazing Race, and what
kind
do you gotta
of.
do?
You choose from their built-in challenges, like singing your favorite Taylor Swift song, which most people don't have. High five a stranger or challenge a potential date to something unique of your own creation. The challenge takes advantage of the mobile device's camera, video, and audio recording features, just to allow you to have something else to talk about when you first start speaking, instead of the awkward, hey, what's up type of garbage. And then it's deleted. They don't last. They don't stay.
Oh, really?
You can only view them that once. And then once you both do, then it opens up your ability
have you
to.
signed up for this yet?
I did download it because I wanted to see it, but
So
I don't like taking selfies, so I probably won't do it.
Can we? You probably won't do it. Can you do it for the show and just give us your?
Okay.
Give us
But
your.
why can't one of us take your selfie?
Because again,
that's
she's
cheating.
changing the
No,
rules.
I just mean like
Just
me
get-
just here taking the picture
Just
of
get
you.
a selfie stick, and you can put it way far away, so it's it's still not.
Can I
breaking the
use
rules.
somebody else's face?
Yeah,
No, you don't need to.
Come on, Jojo.
Don't need
Jojo,
to.
do the show a favor. Take one for the team.
All right.
Try it out. Let us know what you think.
But anyway,
And-
it's Bryce. So if anybody, there's Bumble, there's Tinder, there's all these new things, but Bryce.
now, would you
It's
say
more
that
interactive.
majority of the dating app, from what I'm getting from you and reading and all that it's more focused on sex, hooking up, quick relationships instead of the process?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The process, the traditional process, when I met Nadia, we gave each other phone numbers, we dated,
Yes.
we went on a few dates. It's
Who
not,
called who first?
I called her immediately the next day. And because I don't believe in the 2 days. And
Thank you.
I
I don't
agree.
believe in any of that.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I-
garbage.
None
I
of
told
that.
her I loved her before we ever
Yeah,
kissed.
exactly. and then that night, she actually brought me. The next night, I went over to her house and she made me chili. And
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you
smutting.
like somebody,
There you go.
what's the big deal? Like,
Yeah.
call them, talk to them, hang out with them.
Exactly.
so
No, don't play games.
Games are for Ben, who likes to get swiggy with it.
Exactly.
So ready?
Getting swiggy with it. Getting swiggy with it. Getting swiggy with it. Unforgettable.
Of course, we forgot about her until she died.
Undateable.
That's what we are.
Unbelievable.
So obviously, that's Natalie Cole with her father, Nat King Cole, which at the time I think was just an amazing, amazing. What was it? 1990
93 or something.
93.
Yeah.
And to do that and to make that duo, he was obviously passed away years prior, was quite a feat. And obviously, she sold something like 12 million albums and won 5 Grammys. Unfortunately, she passed away Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, at the age of 65. And we talk a lot on the show about addiction. And my own story is I've been sober for 21 years now, and I got sober at a pretty early age. Yeah, Ben. But Natalie Cole and I suffered from the same disease, and that was the disease of heroin and cocaine, and she had it bad. She had it really bad. And one of the things that we talked about, and you see, is the sensationalism in the news about her addiction. But make no mistake, unless something happened and we don't know about, which is very possible with the disease of
Right.
drug and alcohol addiction, she died sober. Not only did she die sober, but she died with 30 years of sobriety.
Really?
30 years?
Yeah, she got sober.
I got to tell you, I would not have thought. I was
didn't know
waiting for it to come out.
No,
that something happened.
and it might be because at the end of the day, we are when our disease is active, we are liars, thieves, and that. So, but as far as what's out there and what she says in her autobiography, her manager grabbed her, I think, in 1984. And after a couple of failed rehab attempts, actually ended up getting sober. So she was sober for 30 years. And yet, when we talk about Natalie Cole in the news and her death, is her struggles with addiction. And instead of celebrating...
It's really sad, Ben, that when you talk about Natalie Cole, the three things that come up have nothing to do with her, and they are... Her dad, her addiction, and her biggest song, which was a Bruce Springsteen song. Yeah. Everyone always says in that song she did from Bruce Springsteen, Pink Cadillac.
Yeah, or her.
But that's with her dad. None of it's ever been
about what she's done. And I mean, you listen to that song. She has got a butter voice. I mean, her voice was beautiful.
Right.
Her dad. You could tell that runs in the family because her dad had a beautiful voice.
Yeah, and so I think it's just sad, and the stories sell. People want to read about Lamar Odom. People want to read about, these train wrecks, Charlie Sheen, and all those things, but they don't want to celebrate the fact that this woman turned her life around. And
that's the thing. Her mistakes early on, because that's what. And I thought I had seen that she had a reoccurrence of hepatitis C,
which is, and that's the thing I also want to say is part of the reason, even after 30 years of sobriety, she obviously contracted Hep C, which is through needles.
Right.
It can be done through sex, but mainly through needles. And that's a consequence that I know people today with 30 years, 35
which
years
is so
of sobriety,
sad,
who still hepatitis C. Unfortunately, we're getting close to a cure, but there's no cure for it. So it's a consequence that people live with their lives of the lifestyle they lived, 30 years ago. But it saddens me. And again, I'm not saying that she was sober, and I can't tell you if she was sober, but as far as I know, and as far as what she says, she was sober.
That shouldn't be the start of the conversation,
right.
but unfortunately it is.
And so we talked about this, and we get when we do the show, the addiction. Let's talk about addiction, and let's do it. Let's have Ben talk about addiction. But the thing is that this thing wasn't about addiction. This thing should have been about recovery.
Yeah, actually, that's
and her
interesting.
talent,
and her
yeah.
And it's it's such a stigma in the press that doesn't help us as addicts and alcoholics. We only hear about train wrecks. We don't hear about success. We don't hear about people turning their lives around.
But I do need to say, in terms of Natalie, beautiful voice. I don't see. She was not a huge talent. That's the truth. She had a really pretty voice.
In your opinion?
No. She was... Her talent... I'm wrong to say that. She had a great talent singing.
Yes.
But we can watch The Voice and American Idol. There are a lot of great talent singing. She had the leg up of her dad. The smartest thing she ever did, unfortunately, and probably caused some of her addiction because she could never measure up to what her dad was, maybe, but... The best thing she ever did was the Springsteen cover song and a song where she sang with her dad.
Now, Unforgettable, the album with Love, Unforgettable with Love. I mean, I think that was the Adele of the 1990s. Because, maybe not the voice.
Yeah, you're right. No, her voice is amazing.
But everybody had that album. Whether
right.
I remember my mom listening to it. I remember, us kids listening to it. So it was the Adele of the early 90s.
Right.
And so... Whether you think she had talent or not, whatever, it was played brilliant.
Right. Oh, I'm not saying she didn't have talent, but I don't know that she had like
Adele talent.
No, I don't.
She had a great team that maybe put her in the right spot.
And regardless of whether she had talent or not, she turned her life around. She almost. There was a story where her son almost drowned because she was nodding off on the couch. At swimming, and she was nodding off on the couch and was passed out, and her son was in the pool, and her son almost died.
Was she under the influence?
Yeah, she was nodding out.
Yeah, she was nodding out.
Well, I didn't know. Nodding out. I don't know how old her son is.
So
32.
I just want to, be a proponent of, be celebrating recovery and celebrating, and that's why I'm so open about my sobriety.
Right.
Is that you see these train wrecks and you see all these people, and Natalie Cole dies, and all of a sudden we talk about her addiction, and we talk about what happened 30 years ago, but we don't talk about what happened
during the 30 years.
During the 30 years,
Right.
this woman who turned her life around. Yeah, she had some consequences of the drug use, the Hep C and congestive heart failure, whatever led to it. But anyways, may her rest in peace. She was a great.
Know this,
Yes.
JJ. I'm sure you've heard me say this around the house too. That I think that sometimes
We coddle JJ
that you
too
coddle. Oh my God, we coddle JJ too much. I think that if you coddle your kids too much, then this is what happens. Not only is it this kid, but I'm going to give you a statistic. 65% of young adults right now between the ages of 18 and 24 return home at some point in their life because they're going through some sort of hardship with money. And an estimated 59% of parents provide some kind of financial support for these kids and their adult children. So now I'm not saying that that is necessarily coddling, but I think that if you're coddling a child like this kid, Ethan Couch, no doubt these kids that go back to their parents and need something when they're older probably got too much when
That's
they
not
were
about
younger.
the money.
Hold on.
And I don't even mean money. I just mean even just trying to keep your
Yes.
kids safe from fears that aren't even there.
Right, and I think it's important that we go back and tell the story of Ethan Couch.
Yes, please, somebody
and,
tell the
And
story.
so, for the listeners who
I
aren't
guess I
familiar
could have
with
started
it,
with that.
is that he was
There you go.
plowed into, I think, 9 people on the side of the road, killed 4 of them.
He's how old is he?
He's I don't know how old
God.
he was.
19?
19. He was
19.
18, 17 at the time. Anyways, his defense was that, and he got off on it relatively. I mean, he'd have to go to jail, but he spent 10 years in probation, and that's why he's in big trouble. Anyways, the whole story is that his defense was a disease called affluenza. Okay? And the term affluenza has been used to refer to an inability to understand the consequences of one's actions because of financial privilege, notably in the case of Ethan Couch. So what that means is they were saying that because this kid was coddled so much and taken care of, that he didn't understand.
And spoiled and given everything that he wanted.
That he didn't understand the difference between right and wrong. And it worked.
And
so
it worked.
The thing that I don't understand about it is when we talk about parenting, right? The kid was sent to 10 years probation, juvenile probation. He had to go through extreme counseling. He had to go through all this. If the defense was that his parents screwed up, why don't they need to go to counseling? Why don't they need to go to understand what they did in order?
You don't think they understand with him getting into trouble, maybe?
What's the story that came out that his mom paid his strip club
strip club bill, yes.
in Mexico?
Well, actually, they had to leave the strip club with him, go to the hotel
'Cause he
room
had
and
no
knock
money.
on the door.
And then the mom just
had to pay it.
Throw out the money.
But I just don't understand.
Then they left their gun in the
let me-
drawer.
Let me
Go
tell
ahead.
you something from my own experience, and it kind of tails and it's a fall through from what we talked about addiction and disease and all that is. One of my major, and I'm not calling out my parents. I have, disease is the disease. But one thing that I never faced growing up were consequences of my actions. Okay.
I got to tell you, you always say that, and you let people off the hook though when you say the disease is the disease. I got to tell you, I do feel like you can be pushed into that. If your parents, I do think your parents play a part. I'm not saying they're responsible.
I'm not blaming them.
No, I'm saying that there is not blame, and that's horrible. I love your mom, and I would
Right.
never want to think that I'm throwing blame on her. But it takes a village. We always, when it's the positive, it takes a
Right.
village, but it takes a village to screw a kid up too.
But I think it's hard. I mean, the hardest thing as being a parent is making your kids face their consequences.
Right.
Because, my mom didn't get me out of every bind I ever got into, or my dad, or whatever, legal trouble or whatever. They didn't do it because, they didn't want, they just thought it was best for me not to have something on my criminal record. But in hindsight, and what I'm going to try to do as a parent is the biggest thing we can teach our kids is look, whether you believe in God with a lowercase g or big G or whatever,
B-O-G.
the one thing that humans have that you cannot deny is we have free will.
Yes.
We can do anything we want. I can go out and I can buy a gun easily here in Florida, and I can go out and just shoot whatever I want, right? That's free will. But I have to face the consequences of those actions. I think that as a parent, you need to teach your kids that every action has a consequence. Consequences aren't negative.
Always.
No,
not
not
always
always.
negative.
They're
No,
positive
not
consequences.
always.
Absolutely.
But this is like the inmates running the asylum because
Right,
the
Lisa.
kid is allowed to really be the one making the decisions in the family.
You're
If the
right.
parents aren't telling him right and wrong, and don't tell me that in his mother's gut, it's not telling her that I shouldn't be doing this for my child.
I honestly don't think that she thinks that
You
way.
don't think?
Why? I mean, after everything that he went through, I mean, he got a what do you call it, golden pass. He killed 4 people. He didn't see it. He didn't go to jail, so he got a pass because of his affluenza.
See,
Defense.
that's what makes me so angry about that is Lisa grew up with everything: silver spoon, gold plate, whatever. However, she grew up with everything.
Platinum.
Yeah,
spoon. With diamonds in it.
But and she wanted like tennis court.
and none
you
of
want
them
this,
did.
none of that, and because that's about understanding boundaries in parenting.
But that's parenting.
That's
That's good
parenting.
parenting.
I also-
which is also about drinking and allowing those diseases to fester or not. I do think the parents have the ability to help curb that as a kid is growing
Right, because
up.
go ahead.
Well, no,
Lisa.
one thing that I want to say, maybe because I grew up in a really small town, though, that to me, I looked outside that town for what made me happy. I didn't just look at, the house I lived in or where I was able to travel. I looked to music and to traveling. I went everywhere with my parents. I
Right.
would take weeks off of school to travel with my mom and dad. I wasn't
And then-
doing drugs. I wasn't
Right.
drinking. I wasn't doing that stuff because there were bigger and better things out there for
and
me.
you have it tuned to the Miggs and Swig show. This is Lisa Out Loud on
But it's
102.5
Ben
The Bone.
speaking for me.
And we're talking about one of really our favorite topics is parenting and consequences of the kids and how we deal with it.
And that's a question that I want to ask. Obviously, I do not have my own children, but
that you know of.
right. So, but I will tell you that I love your children, which is so crazy to me because it kind of scares me of how I love yours like they're my own. And I feel like I would do anything to protect them. And they're not even mine.
Right.
So I can't imagine this woman who her son gets away with this from this bull excuse of why he killed 4 people and thinks that he shouldn't have to pay consequences. But as a parent, how far do you go to protect your
Right.
child?
That's a good point.
That's a,
I mean,
that's a good point.
You go to any. I mean, listen.
Do you take the blame for them? Do you
Well,
go? I mean, like
the
how
point-
or whatever.
the
it
point
That's
is-
like the affair
The point,
almost.
the point is
Right.
valid. I mean, I think that it would be a tough decision for me if Asher or one of my kids were put in a situation like Ethan Couch and killed 4 people or whatever.
Hey Ben, how about you're in the passenger seat, and Asher's driving, and you don't realize it, but right before it happens, he goes, "Dad, I'm going to need to pull over. I've been drinking. I think I'm drunk." Then he kills somebody. No one sees it, but it's the 2 of you.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you get in the?
I don't
you
even wanna
say
pl-
I'm
I don't,
gonna.
I don't even want
right?
to play.
Oh my
that
God, I have
hypothetical.
chills
But
just
you know what I
thinking
mean
about
when you
it.
think
Yeah.
about it. When it's your kid,
that's
because
what-
I will
that's-
tell
that's
you,
what-
I would. There's a part of me that would. A little kid who's 5 years old or 6 years old said something to my little kid, and I had a moment where the hair on my arm stood, and I was like, you know what? I'll take you out.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean take you out, but
Well,
like,
that's
Yeah,
why
'cause it's my
JoJo's
kid.
point is so valid. Her question is, at what point do you want your kid to face consequences? But when the consequences are 15, 20 years in jail and you can afford a defense and you can afford, I mean, so it's a tough question. And I don't, hopefully, pray to God, lowercase g or whatever, pray to, good
Yeah.
karma or whatever, that just never happened to me, or never will happen to me. But at the end of the day, if from a smaller scale, from a 40,000 foot view, I think that kids and consequences and learning about consequences is the biggest best lesson we can teach our kids.
We struggle with it all the time.
We struggle with it, and our kids have a lot of people around them all the time who love them and who help us take care of them. I think it even starts with if one of our kids wants a glass of water, will you go get that glass of water?
Right.
One of them wants their iPad. Mommy, will you get my iPad? No. Milo, you get up and get your own iPad.
Right.
I think it starts from those even small, tiny things like that. It has to. You can't do everything for your child all the time because then they don't have to do anything
And
for
boy,
themselves.
it's a victory if they do it.
And I'm a case in point of that. I mean, like even little things like cleaning up. I mean, my mom always was there to make my bed, to clean up, do laundry, to do all that, and I wasn't given those tools. And today, I'm not the cleanest person. I'm not dirty. I'm just a little.
That might be
slobby.
more your personality, though.
No,
too,
but
right?
I agree, though, Lisa. I do think nurture nature.
Yeah.
I do think you can teach somebody. You also, as a parent, I do believe, maybe not even a parent, as a community, you can influence your kid to maybe figure out the straight and narrow path a little bit more, as opposed to bring them over somewhere where they find out they have an addiction. You could.
Do you find that it's different? Because talking, excuse me about this, I know that we have to go to a commercial, but is it different?
No, we're good.
Oh, we are?
just need to
Okay.
We're just on the Miggs and Swig show, 1-800-771-1025 if you want to get involved in the conversation, Joe.
So does gender play a role? Because I feel, and I'm not
Males
saying,
are more risk takers, if that's what you
but
mean.
well, and in that, but I also mean as far as the coddling and the parenting, nature versus nurture type of thing, where I feel like my parents expect more from my sister and I than they do from my brothers, and that my mom cuts my brothers more slack. Even when we're having dinner, and it's like,
But what does your dad do? Does he cut you guys more slack?
No,
He's
like,
he's like, whatever.
Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland.
Okay. but it's like, like Jenna and I will do the dishes. Jenna and I will help. I'm the one that bakes and brings stuff over, and you know what I mean. Like
I get that. My dad
so
did
it's
make me
just
do something.
the expectation of a certain threshold for girls over
I'm going to
boys.
mow the lawn, or I'm gonna rake the leaves or something. You're right. That stuff. Yeah, there was a little bit of that.
You know,
And a little more independence and self-sufficiency as a woman than as a man. Like men are taken care of, and that's what I see with this Ethan. Like it's the mother and her little boy, and if it was a daughter, I feel like it would be different.
It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out because they're being extradited because he broke probation.
Yes.
And he's still on that 10-year probation. They went to Mexico and he got in trouble in Mexico. So he's being extradited. I think she was already extradited. He's being extradited.
She was
back to the U.S. to see how it plays out. But it's just one of those things that the other thing we talk about a lot on the show about parenting is when you make a
declaration
when
to
you
your
make
kid,
a threat,
you need to
follow, and you need to make. When we talk about New Year's resolutions being realistic, the threats need to be realistic. I can't tell you how many times growing up we'd be in the car going to the airport, going to the airport to go on a family trip to Hawaii or something, right? And the kids were acting up. My mom would say, "If you guys don't behave, we're turning around this car. We're not going to Hawaii."
Right.
Really?
Right.
Like it's already paid for.
Right.
We're on our way to the airport.
So I mean, the realistic threats and the realistic consequences and follow through.
We've been doing better and better with that. Like even at night, we're ready to do some more, play something else, and then one of them will do something at the witching hour, do something dumb, and it's just like, all right, bedtime.
Yep.
You've been much better about discipline with them lately than
I know, and
have
it
been.
stinks because then they want mommy more, but the truth of that is
they'll respect you later. They'll end up hating mom.
And it's okay. No, mommies are different than daddies, and
Yes.
it is a different thing. And they need to understand boundaries and understand that dad and mom too, but in a different way, is not going to allow certain things.
No, and right now you need to be parents. You don't need to be their friends.
More important, we want you to stay in touch with us even when we're off the air. The show's available right now: podcast, Twitter.
How do you find us on the social media?
You go miggsandswig.com.
Everything.
Yeah.
No, Miggs and Swig.
And guess what? Somebody has asked if I was going to play something musically, and I'm not going to bore you with too much, but maybe what I'll do is I'll do my final thought thing, and I'll actually play it to music best I can, and it'll be either really
It's like
horrible.
singing the Our Father at Mass.
Our Father who art in
Hey, you
heaven,
listen to
hallowed
Miggs and
be thy
Swig show. We
name.
do
Thy
have
kingdom
yay or
come,
what are we
thy will
doing?
be done.
What are we doing when we come back? There's
Personality.
Ooh, this
All right,
is
we're
going to
doing
be
something
good.
on personalities when we get back, and then I'm going to sing a little ditty about Jack and Diane. Back after these words, Miggs and Swig show.
Wombats. Wombats. Actually, quick story about the Wombats. Welcome back to the Miggs and Swig show here on 102.5 The Bone. You're listening to Wombats' Greek Tragedy, which started off the new year as #1 song at Alt Nation, Alt 18 Countdown.
Yay.
That's great.
It's a great way to start off the new year. For
Hey, before the break, we were talking a little bit about installing consequences in the way you work with your children. And, he's not there to be able to put them on. Or can you put them on? Oh, all right, Jamie. I didn't know you were all that talented.
He has that power.
I got the skills.
Oh, Jamie.
He got skills to pay the bills.
So we have Tony wants to talk a little bit about that. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and I'm doing well. I hope you guys are doing okay over there.
So you have kids?
Yes, I have a set of 6-year-old twins, and let me tell you something. You have to instill these consequences early. And the reason I say that is because you don't have that much time before the peers are going to take over. My kids are in kindergarten, and they are already gravitating towards those peers. Well, Johnny does this, or Tommy does this.
Yep.
And we have, since we can remember, if we say we're going to do something, you have to have a backbone, because if you don't, they're going to walk all over you. And they're going to think, well, I know Mom and Dad said not to do this, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyways, because they're not going to really follow through.
Right.
We've left play dates before because we've warned them. Hey, why are you laughing at that kid that just fell? Well, because Tommy was laughing. Well, you know what? That's not nice. You need to correct your friend and be the leader, be the role model.
That's right.
So that's just my personal view on it. Because
so do you leave right away? Hey, Tony. So if you're out to dinner and the kids are acting up, do you just say, you just get up? Because Lisa and I we're at the point where we're saying. And they've been pretty good, but we said to each other, listen, I don't care what point we are at dinner. If they act up and whatever, we will just get up, say we pay, and then they go to bed or whatever it is.
Well, we have to. I feel you have to give them that warning, saying, hey,
right.
If you keep this up, this is going to happen. And yes, we have left before. We've left dinner. We've left parties. Because, and we're not really, it might sound like I'm very strict, because I'm not, we're not. We just expect things out of our kids. And somebody, this is the first time I've listened to your show. I loved what one of the females said, because my kids are 6 and they have chores. If they want a glass of water, you know what our response is? You know where it's at.
Right.
We have everything at their level. When they wake up in the morning, they make their bed. They get dressed on their own. They do their hair. And I'm going to tell you what, it's great. It took a lot of work getting there, but we are reaping the rewards now.
Yeah, and Lisa and I, that was my wife, Lisa, and we are at the point now, too, like this morning, the kids, we have a 6 and a 4-year-old, and we love being with them. So we would go in the morning and hang out, and then, come on, let's go pee, let's do this. But we are now at the point where it is more like, nope, you want to get up, that's a great idea. Go ahead and brush your teeth.
Getting ready. I mean, I still get their toothbrushes ready in the morning, which I know I probably shouldn't be doing. They should do that themselves.
No, we should leave the toothpaste right out for them.
And let them do it.
We're going to do that, Tony. Hey, Tony, I don't know if you want it, but we'd love to give you season 1 of The Affair from our friends at Showtime. It's a great DVD. You and your wife can watch it. Talks about consequences in a whole different way.
It sure does.
Great show. So if you just hang on the line a minute, we'd love to give you that. And thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it.
All right. Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tony.
There's Tony.
Hey.
All right. Hey, JJ, what do you got going on over there?
So was this article.
Oh, my gosh. You figuring out that?
There was this article about how the date that you were born tells who you are, about your personality. And so I sent it around to everybody on the show here, and everyone was pretty amazed at how pretty accurate it was.
I thought it was. I mean, I thought it was
pretty
freaky.
darn accurate for myself. So we have JoJo, who was born on.
Oh, wait. If you want to call 1-800-771-1025, she's gonna tell you a date and the personality,
the day of the month that you were born.
Day of the month you were born, and if you happen to call, we'll let you guess it, and if you do,
we'll tell you about your personality.
We're gonna give you something, yeah.
All
but
right,
go ahead.
So here's our first one. It is.
JJ still there?
JJ, you
there?
prefer. I was trying to switch up because I had already said JoJo on the first one. You prefer to work in a position of authority.
Authority.
You combine the leadership qualities of your number 1 with intuition and logic of your 7, making you a gifted decision maker to whom others look for guidance.
That's nobody here.
I feel like
Oh, I
that's-
know who it is.
I feel like that's Lisa.
I
I didn't read these, by the way.
I think it's pretty good.
That would be the 17th. Lisa born December 17th. And that would be Lisa.
Also,
JoJo, you
and
win.
my mother.
Season 1 of the
And
affair.
your mother.
And
yes.
your mother. All right. You have a good sense of humor and enjoy communicating with others. You may also have artistic and creative abilities. People are attracted to your charismatic personality. You have that certain something.
Don Miggs.
No way.
No, I know these. I know these
He
because
says
I
no
read
way.
them, but I know
I got
who
that
is.
certain nothing. Trust me.
Oh, there you go. There's that
So that's
negative.
not you.
That's not me. I don't think. If it is, it's completely wrong.
No, this one's JoJo.
This is JoJo.
Oh, it is me.
Can you read it again?
Bam, 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 bam.
You have a good sense of humor and enjoy
True.
communicating with others.
True.
You may also have artistic and creative abilities. People are attracted to your charismatic personality. You have that certain something.
That
True.
je ne sais quoi.
Now we just have to find the guy who's going to find that.
Jamie, you got to
something.
find that
She's
song.
got to find me funny.
You do have that though.
You got to
All
find
right.
that song. Wait, Jamie, you need to find that song from Beowulf Can Get It or Michael Lombardo, where it's just JoJo, doom, 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 doom.
I love that.
I love that
Do
song.
you have a name
whenever
more
she
than just
speaks.
JoJo Doom Doom Doom?
Yeah, I don't know the rest of it. Sorry, Jamie.
If you just do that, though, I think you'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. We have caller on the line. Alex, you want to play this thing?
Yeah, sure. Let's give it a shot.
Alex, first of all, what is your birth date?
I am November 9th.
Nine.
Jensen's going to
Yo.
tell you and tell us if this is correct about you. JJ, tell us about the 9th.
9.
You are a sensitive and generous nature. You're broad-minded and able to see the bigger picture in life. You've been gifted with the ability to understand a diverse range of people and their cultures. You may also be creatively talented in some way.
Is that true at all, Alex? Any of that?
Actually, it's pretty spot on.
Is it
Yeah.
really?
Alex
that.
is sensitive and generous.
Alex, are you single?
Yeah, and I'm creative. I write music and stuff, and yeah.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, I guess
Wow.
it's pretty spot on.
Right
Wow,
on. That's
very
amazing.
cool.
Great. That's
Hey,
really cool.
Alex. Well, she's gonna mention and do another one. And then have you listened to the show before?
I haven't. I've been trying to catch it, but I'm not normally up on Sundays this early.
That's because you're in mute. All right. Well,
By
you
the
have
way, it's noon.
you have Ben Swig, Lisa DeBartolo Miggs. You have JoJo, and you have Don Miggs, and JJ's about to tell someone else.
Yeah, Alex, and if you miss our show and you sleep in, you can always listen to it again on the MiggsandSwig.com website.
Look at that. Go ahead, JJ.
All right, so this is somebody here on the Miggs and Swig show. You're a go-getter who doesn't take no for an answer. When you have your mind set on something, you will do everything in your power to get it. You're competitive and like to stand out in a crowd. You combine strength and intuition and compassion.
Don Miggs.
Of course.
Yeah.
That is you.
That's
Well,
March
now
20
Alex doesn't get to say it.
He doesn't get to say it. Sorry.
Well, Alex just wins something anyway. He wins a Tighten Up Tampa T-shirt.
I didn't know he was still online.
That is
My
the
bad.
28th.
Alex, we're
that
giving
is
you a Tighten Up Tampa T-shirt.
the 28th. That's
Oh, right
Don
on.
Miggs.
All right.
Miggs.
Wait. Tara, we're going to bring Tara on right now. Tara, how are you?
Pretty good.
All right, Tara, we need to know what day is your birthday?
August 3rd.
August
she
3rd.
3.
That's
JoJo.
my
Oh, so
birthday.
listen. It's the same birthday.
Yeah. Thanks for knowing my birthday.
Sorry. So let me just repeat. This is what happens
good
when
day,
you
Tara.
when you're born August 3rd. And tell us if this is true about you. Go. Say it again, JJ.
You have a good sense of humor and enjoy communicating with others. You may also have artistic and creative abilities. People are attracted to your charismatic personality. You have that certain something.
Is that true, Tara?
True. Yes, absolutely.
Tara, what is that certain something that you have?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, Tara, we want to give you a Tighten Up Tampa T-shirt because we think Tampa needs to be tightened up for sure. I'm sorry if you don't live in Tampa, but you'll take the shirt anyway. It's good for washing your car. All right, thanks for playing. And go ahead, JJ. Who's the last one?
There's two
trial
more.
elimination.
You're a natural student and a teacher whose interests may tend towards subjects like psychology
Teacher.
and philosophy. Needing quiet time alone to process your thoughts and contemplate life, you may appear distant or guarded at times.
Teacher, I'm going with JJ.
I'm going with JJ on that one.
Nailed it too. And nailed it.
Appear distant and guarded at times.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Let's do the last one.
That's me. And then the last one is
Swig.
Ben. You're a born entertainer who likes to be the center of attention.
No.
You may be artistically or creatively gifted or clever with your hands. You're a talented speaker who has a way with words, but you must use your words to uplift rather than criticize or put down.
And he does that. And you do that.
Wow. You know what?
But that is you.
And I am definitely talented with my hands.
Oh boy.
And nobody.
Oh boy.
Ben's
nobody.
the 30th. So
30th. So if there's a 30 out there, you're gifted with your hands.
Oh, Benjamin, held far.
What do we got here?
All right, so listen. So someone
Deep
asked me
thoughts
to,
with Don Miggs.
to just give a little rant, and I wrote some things down. And instead of saying them, I'm going to sing a couple, and I have no idea how this will go. So let me just do this. Wait,
It'll be brilliant, Don.
I love when people who smoke are offended by the cell phone etiquette. I love watching people trying to get on an elevator before letting people off, you idiots. I love people who post every feeling they've ever had like we all truly want to read it because we don't have enough of our own problems. Why don't you shut up? Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I truly love when someone you've invested a lot of time in posts something that triggers great memories and reminds you that there's no accidents and we're meant to live through experiences good and bad with many different people. Just because time or distance or circumstances kill or mute the relationship doesn't tarnish what happened. Keep your friends close.
Keep your friends close.
Keep your memories closer.
Keep your memories closer.
And everybody love one another.
Everybody love one another.
Because we're all sisters and brothers.
Sisters and brothers.
Okay. I love arguing over text where no one has to really see the consequences of what they're saying. And I love how tough cyberbullies are when hiding behind a screen. Ooh. You're an idiot too, like that other person was. I love tables full of people on their phones posting about the best time I ever had. And no one's even broken a sweat. Sweet. I love watching my wife sleep. And I love knowing that if I go away for a few days, my boys won't forget me. I love the smell of an old guitar, a new guitar, any guitar. Nothing comforted me more when I was a teenager than my guitar. I love when a driver's beeping or angling for you to move, only then to be stuck right where you were. And I love knowing Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump can be taken seriously for the seat of the presidency, and knowing Hillary will win anyway. And I love the Jets are still part of the conversation this late in the football season.
Go Jets!
I love
J-E-T-S.
being able to vote, express myself, and be able to affect change in the lives of people around me, and for being alive in 2016.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice.
I think there was some great stuff in there.
That was our church for
In the
today.
song. I just got lost in the.
Where are we right now?
You have about a minute left.
We are have no more listeners.
That was amazing.
Benjamin,
Yes,
next
sir.
week it's just you, me, and JJ holding down.
No, not next week.
The week after.
Benjamin, next week we're all back.
Yay!
We're all back. The crew's together.
Hey, I start my tour this week, so I'll be a little groggy come Sunday morning.
Okay.
But we're going to be positive.
But I will positively be groggy.
And the
Sunday
question
morning.
is, the cleanse during the tour.
I'm going to try to cleanse.
Are you going to do it? Because you'll check in, you'll be honest with us.
I will
to see
be
if you
honest.
did?
Trust you.
JJ, is there a refrigerator on the bus?
Oh, good.
Nope.
There's not even a refrigerator on this bus.
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd.
Forget it then. You can't do it.
But what all of you can
almond
do is
milk.
make sure to be here next Sunday, 10 a.m. sharp, because that's where we'll be.
Bummed.
Right here with you. Miggs and Swig. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Miggs and Swig or
Thanks for being with
miggsandswig.com.
I've had a great time.
It's 2016, y'all.
Go Jets.
Make the most of it.
Jets.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Be good to each other.
102.5 The Bone.